Welcome to Plates and Palates. I'm Jenny Handley. I'm the curator of the annual JHP Gourmet Guide and the editor of the bi-monthly magazine Gourmet Guide. I'm going to be taking you to secret spots, behind the scenes, and to meet interesting people. And today I'm in a beautiful secret spot, and I'm with Mervyn Gers, the man behind our plates and our plate rating, and I'm in his secret spot. So welcome to the show, Mervyn.
Thank you, Jenny.
And thank you. So this secret spot nobody knows about, and it's tucked away in the middle of Cape Town, but I do love the fact that while we're here, it's quiet and it's beautiful, but there's also just an element of I can hear a little bit of the city outside. So when the noon gun goes, I'm part of the action, but tucked away and absolutely perfect for bespoke events.
It is wonderful. The very interesting thing about this apartment, which I only found out later, is they did in the cities.
I wasn't born then.
No.
Oh.
Me neither.
Okay. It's not often I've been said.
No. Anyway, but there's wooden floor and there's that much space, and underneath the wood there's this layer of sand and then concrete. So the place is totally insulated. You don't hear the neighbors, they don't hear you. And there's one apartment per floor, which is lovely. So
the word is cocoon. I feel like I'm cocooned in your space today.
And you're aware of a bit of sound in the city, and that's really about it. It's really nice.
And I think we live in the most beautiful city in the world. I'm always proud to say that I'm Capetonian and proudly South African. But I also think there's so much happening in our city in the way of food and art and culture. And I just love it when it all comes together. And I always look at your plates and I think, this is where the food comes together. It is a platform for artistry. It's creative people who appreciate what you do. And I'm not sure that everybody knows exactly what you do for us. So at the Gourmet Guide, when we do our plate ratings, and we give out our 50 plates every year, they are rimmed in beautiful silver, bronze, or gold. But we also give our 3 gold plates, which are solid gold. Gasp. I know I go down on my bended knees every year and say, can we do this again? Tell me about the gold.
I went to India, was it 2015 the first time, and I was sourcing gold for ceramics because it has to be food safe, it has to be real gold, and dishwasher soaps.
I would never put mine on.
I wouldn't suggest because the material is quite abrasive and that damages it. And I found this place in Agra where they make the gold. It is 12% real gold. We buy it per litre. Since the gold price has gone up, it has gone up substantially since I bought it the first time. It's probably the best quality gold you can get, and it's fired onto the ceramic at 780 degrees Celsius. So it's a third process. You first get you fire your raw clay and you get the square and then you glaze it. Oh, it's one that's just got a gold edge. So we obviously do gold fill, and then you use obviously much more gold, and it becomes very expensive. But it's a luxury item and few people love it.
And it makes a statement.
It makes
I mean, it just doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. The company in Agra, and it's a family business, been going for 3 generations. And the guy running it now studied in Oxford, and he actually played for the English cricket team, and he played in South Africa as well.
Lovely story. The heritage. It's amazing. There's always a story behind the story.
There's always a story.
And I think for many of the chefs, for them, when they're plating their beautiful creations, they want to put it on the right receptacle and make a statement. Because the first thing that we do when we eat, obviously, is look with our eyes. How much of that do you think they know about the production net? I mean, that's just 22 hands for every item. It's quite incredible.
It's such a complicated process. And when I started, I didn't realize what I was doing, or how complicated it is. Also, there was no need for handmade bespoke dinnerware. So we had to create a need from a marketing perspective, and that's my background. So every piece is made by hand. Every piece is slightly different. This one, for instance, these I'm going to show you now, they've got an iron-based glaze and then a cover coat over it. I prefer to use oxides. This has got cobalt oxide in it, the blue. So the oxide's got metal in. So when you can see the iron coming through there because the cobalt, the metal is heavier and it runs down. So you get like a different effect. If you use stains, you get a very flat surface.
Now this has got life.
That's got life, and that's why I like stains. And we have produced, it took us 8 months with 1,000 of tests, 2 people per day, and we developed 17 glazes over 8 months. And the difficulty is if we buy copper oxide from one supplier and we buy it from the next supplier. It could have oxidized one molecule further and then the color changes and then you have to recreate the color and it's a complicated process.
And you also make your own clay, Mervyn?
We make our own clay.
Wow.
We make our own glazes. We print our own transfers and we do everything by it. I think we're the only ceramic country in the world that does everything in-house. Actually, I've done
That's true artistry. That's incredible. I just want to also say this wall behind us is an incredible story. I'm a Pisces, so it really does talk to me. But I love that every plate leads into the next one. It's like the waves of the ocean and it takes from one to the other. How did you come up with this concept?
Khoi range was actually one of the first ones we did. The Khoi and blue willow. It's a combination of the deconstructed blue willow. And then I did a set that went to Romania to the Biennale. It's actually a set of 7 pieces. And if you look at it, you see the Khoi swimming. And if you take it away, then there's more Khoi from big to small. And that's where it came from. So it's like, we've been doing it for a while. And I'm quite bored with the Khoi, I must because we've been doing it for a while, so yeah.
Yeah, but what happens is because you get a little bit bored and you move on to the next thing, these stay and other people still love them, but there's always something new. I'm always walking into a showroom and thinking, oh, I haven't seen that before. You know, you're very creative and there's a new story coming. What are you busy working on at the moment?
We did some beautiful abalone shells. They look like abalone with mother of pearl on the inside. They're exceptionally beautiful. We have to create new. We have to be new. Otherwise, you get to stay and you have to innovate. You have to do new designs. At the moment, trying to get the glazes to work because materials are from different people. We had a huge problem with the specific glaze called Madumbi. Look how beautiful this is.
That is so African.
It is so beautiful.
I feel the earth.
And you see that's called crawling because the glaze is thicker. And where the glaze is thicker, you get that. But there's a glaze at the bottom. So it's food safe. It won't go through. And this one is also done as a reactive glaze, also done with an iron base. And I think that's got a chrome on top, so it's more green.
I love them.
They're
also different.
But each one is different.
But they talk to one another. So I also love it. We often see in a restaurant that they don't have sort of a matchy set of Mervyn Gers Ceramics. They look at each dish and they bring something in to enhance what they're producing. And I think that's what's so fluid in what you're doing.
That's actually exciting. Because if you go to a place, it's lovely to see different plates and the food work in all of them. I think a palette that goes through from one to the other and it's not too juxtaposition.
No, but I also love the fact that you are actually quite practical. So I get very excited when the use of the space on the table has been thought out so carefully and there's a little oblong plate because it's just going to take up too much space if there's a round one. I think the requirement of the chef is not just, oh, give me a round plate on which I can put my food. There is so much consideration. It's about the origin. It's about supporting local, which we know is very important. You know, we're all in this together. So I think the more we can support one another, the better.
Actually, what happens is chefs come to us and then they say, well, they want this because it will fit on their table and they want this bespoke. So we do a lot of work for restaurants that's only for them and nobody else. So we don't have a minimum order. We could do 1 or 1,000. And if we make 1 or 2 or 10, the cost stays the same because
that's incredible.
Because the amount of time you take to make it, the handmade electricity stays the same. And if you're aware that every job you create in Cape Town has got an impact on 4.7 people's lives.
I do love that.
Yeah. So part of our big thing is job creation. We've had people that the company is now 14 years old. We've had people that's with us since the beginning, which is great. Becoming like a family.
No, as I said, it always feels like a family when I go there. But I also think the hospitality industry, which we are lucky enough to work in and within, is one of those where there's no barrier to entry. If you come into the industry with a good attitude and you want to learn, there will be a place for you, whether it's in the ceramics or in the service or in the kitchen. And that's why it's such a dynamic industry. And it's incredible when you've been around for a while to see the progress of people who came in quietly through the back door and have really taken their place. So I must mention, I remember you from your radio days. Maybe we looked a bit
Previous
different,
life.
felt the same in our previous lives. And it's incredible to see that you allowed your creative spirit to actually find its place in a ceramics industry where so many people are benefiting. So I think also as South Africans, we've got such a strong entrepreneurial spirit. We're resilient, we're resolute, we just make things happen. And we sometimes forget that. We don't applaud the level of entrepreneurship in this country that is creating jobs for so many. I think there's no more exciting place in the entire world. So I'm happy to be sharing it as a Cape Townian with you and to watch you make your contribution to the industry every year. So for that, we're extremely grateful.
Thank you.
And I promise that I won't let any of our chefs drop their gold plates ever. And if they do, they just mustn't tell me. They must come directly to you. But it's wonderful to see people being acknowledged for what they're doing and for their progress, their dedication. And thank you for making it so visible to the public.
Well, thank you for your wonderful guide. When people come to Cape Town, they ask me where they should go. I mean, that's there. This is a book, so you can have a guide as to where to start. It's very difficult to actually find good places. Where do you read these days on the internet that you can trust, that's good within? And yours is fantastic.
Well, I think it's a complete privilege to have that back door into the restaurants and to be able to tell their stories, because I always feel that's what we're doing. We're actually putting it out there. We're showing with amazing photography what chefs have been doing and how much they and their teams are actually capable of. So
your book is so beautiful.
Thank you.
It really is.
We do love putting it together. It's a labor of love. There are many midnight oil burnings. We hope that it grows from strength to strength with you. So thank you for your contribution.
I started working in a design studio. The layout is beautiful. Your fireplace is beautiful. It's well done.
Mutual Admiration Society, but we love working with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good. And thanks for the secret spot.
Sure. Thanks for coming.
Great.